Hello, CPP community. We hope that you are adjusting to your new normal during these challenging times. We thought that for today's 3 to Thrive, we would focus on remote work. Specifically, we wanted to give you some tips on how you can handle remote work like a boss using the acronym ROLL. So the R in ROLL is to create rituals and routines to ensure a productive work environment. The O is to over-communicate, and I'll talk to you more about what I mean in a moment. And the L is really twofold. So first, to leverage this experience, and the second is to look out for yourself. The first tip, and yes, this is coming from someone that doesn't typically follow a routine or a ritual, is to do just that. Establishing daily rituals in order to get work done. If you do not own your schedule will own you. Having a daily routine will keep you focused and prevent distractions so you can stay true to your highest priority. You can be very busy, but not get a whole lot done. I'm sure we've all experienced that. Establishing a routine can create a consistent work environment. So I ask you, what is your routine? What rituals do you stick with every day to help you be more productive? For me, I have, as many of you probably are experiencing, 2 small school children that are now at home, so I try to schedule my day around their day. I created a schedule which includes snack time and even recess, and I actually start my day before they start their day, so that way I can make sure that I can complete my most important tasks while the kids are still asleep. It's important to make sure that your household, as well as your team members, are aware of some of your rituals and your routines so they know what to expect from you and when to expect it. The second routine I stick with is what I actually do before my day even begins and what I do when my day ends. I schedule my day before I start it so that way I know what I'm going into each and every day. In addition, I reflect on my day at the end of the day and see what I can modify when I schedule the next day. So I really figure out, what did I do really well today? Where are some areas that I fell short? When was I distracted? And how can I make those modifications when I approach my day the next day? According to Stephen Covey, the single most important thing that you can do each day is to schedule your day every day before your day begins. What routines do you have? And what rituals are you following that may be a best practice that somebody else could adopt? It's important to share those routines and rituals with your team so they can adopt some of those best practices in their own day-to-day while working remotely. So the O in just roll with it is over-communicate. This is not about micromanaging or letting people know where you're at every hour of every day, but this is about connection. When in doubt, communicate it out. You can quickly feel isolated when working remotely, and over-communicating gives you a chance to connect with those that you were used to seeing every day. Get with your team and find out what tools that you might be able to leverage to help with that connection piece. I know for our team, we use Microsoft Teams to create that connection that you sometimes lose when moving to a remote work environment. In addition, my team decided to connect by scheduling connection Zooms every other day. Just for about 30 minutes, this gives us the opportunity to check in, to find out how each of us are doing, and to find out what each of us are working on for that week. We've also moved our weekly huddle to a virtual environment where the same routines exist and the same ritual that we've been doing while at the campus, we're still able to do when we're working remotely. So much can get lost in translation, so I encourage you that when in doubt, share it out. Connection is a huge piece that can sometimes be lost when we move to a remote work environment. By following these daily practices, either by doing huddles or meet and greets every other day, you can feel connected to your team, and your team can feel more connected to you. The ADP Research Institute suggests that the most engaging work isn't coming to work every day. In fact, it's how we feel while we are working on projects within our teams. The feeling of team and the feeling of being engaged is not a place, but it's an actual feeling of connection. You can feel connected no matter where you are at. ADP Research Institute found that the medium of connection actually doesn't matter. In other words, how you connect with one another is less important than the fact that you are figuring out a way that you can connect. How do you stay in touch with your team in the remote space? Are you creating routines and rituals that create predictability and consistency in connecting with your team? So the L in just roll with it is actually two parts. The first is to leverage this opportunity, and the second is to look out for yourself. When I lay my head down at night, there are things that I think about that I wish I could have done while we were coming to campus every single day. But because of the commute and some of the hours and the time that I would leave and the time I would get home, along with all of the sports and activities that my kids were involved in, a lot of the things that I thought about doing, I either chose not to do or I really felt like I couldn't do them. Well, sports are canceled and I find myself working remotely most days. So this is the perfect time to do something new, different, and exciting. You might leverage some downtime with your kids during this time. You might leverage trying something new with them or encouraging them to use their imagination. Okay, so don't laugh. But prior to all of this, as an adult, I've never baked homemade cookies. I always just buy the packaged kind at the supermarket. So at nighttime and on the weekends, my family is leveraging the stay-at-home orders by baking lots of cookies and actually trying new recipes that we haven't tried before. We're also riding bikes, we're roller skating, and I must say I picked up the skill of roller skating pretty quickly. But really what we're doing is we're leveraging this opportunity to create experiences that we probably would not otherwise have created. In addition to leveraging this opportunity from a personal standpoint, it's also important to think about how you can leverage this opportunity from a professional space. Think about the collaboration tools that you may have heard of but don't know a whole lot about. This is an excellent opportunity for you to take ownership and become an expert in some of these tools and then to share what you learn with your team. In addition to that, LinkedIn Learning has tremendous opportunities for you to get on and learn about whatever it is that you're interested in learning about. And then share that what you have learned, share that back with your team. Finally, we also have some classes that we're going to be moving to the virtual environment. So just like we had classes available in our catalog, we also have those classes available and we've moved them to a virtual instruction. So in this newsletter, you will see that you can access those virtual sessions and register for them. This is an excellent opportunity for you to take this time to invest in yourself. So I encourage you to leverage this opportunity to ask yourself, what am I doing to invest in myself during this time? So the second L in our acronym is to look out for yourself. This is an excellent opportunity to practice self-care. Exercise is so important, we all know that. But you would be surprised at what it can do for your mental health as well. During a recent meeting with my team, when we were talking about some of the challenges we were experiencing, many of my team members mentioned that they didn't have the opportunities to get up and move around like they had used to, and they had really felt it. They felt more sluggish, and it was really challenging that they found themselves sitting for longer periods of time. So in our next group meeting, what we decided to do is a very quick, but very fun and very doable desk exercise as a team on our Zoom meeting. And what it did is it brought us closer together, and it became a routine that we could choose to continue doing if it works for the group. And in addition to that, it really allowed us to look out for ourselves, to take that moment in time to make sure that we were moving around and we weren't just sitting all day long. So, what are you doing to practice self-care? So today in this 3 to Thrive, we have shared with you some ways that you could handle remote work like a boss by just rolling with it. We have shared how you can follow rituals and routines so you can maximize the time that you are spending while working remotely. We have also shared how over-communicating can create sense of connection amongst your team. We talked about how you can leverage this opportunity to try something new, both personally and professionally, so you can continue investing in yourself and helping your family invest in new experiences. Lastly, we looked at how you should look out for yourself and how exercise can be such a great tool when working remotely to make sure that we are moving around and to make sure that we are tapping into our mental health as well. We will get through this together, Cal Poly Pomona community. We are here for you. We hope that you use some of the tools that we've shared with you and just roll with it. Thank you.